Hey everybody, welcome back to our YouTube channel, Miss Young Homeowner. I am here with our very first male speaker. Very excited, Mr. Chris Perry himself.
That's a lot of pressure, being the first one. That's a lot of pressure.
I know. Listen, our platform is dedicated to women, but we are more than happy to extend the invitation and have him tell us today all about being a real estate agent and everything that comes with that. So before we jump into that, how about we just get to know a little bit about who you are, where you're from, how you got into real estate to begin with.
Cool. First off, Maya, thanks for having me.
Yes.
I'm really excited, especially you said I'm the first male guest. Oh my gosh, that's like a whole lot of pressure, but hopefully I live up to what you think. So again, my name is Chris Perry. I am 28 years old. I am from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, so I'm from this area. I've grown up here my whole life.
What school? High school did you go to?
I went to Grace Brethren.
Okay.
It's a private Christian
I went
school.
to McNamara.
Did you really?
I did.
No
Go
way.
Saints.
Are you for real?
Yes.
So y'all were, sports-wise, y'all were definitely better than us.
Yeah.
But don't do that. Y'all were definitely better than us. We got to play you guys, I think, my 11th grade year.
Okay.
We lost, but it was, don't do that. I went to Grace Brethren in Clinton. I grew up in Upper Marlboro. For me, I'm a realtor. I have my own property management company as well.
Oh, nice.
I invest, and really, most importantly, I have a family, so that's the most important thing to me too.
Very nice.
Yeah.
How'd you get into real estate?
Good question. So I have a very, I guess I would say, interesting story. Mm-hmm. So I was in college. I went to Morgan State.
Okay, HBCU. Went to Hampton.
Oh,
yes.
HBCU family. All right. So I went to Morgan. I was actually interning with the government when I was at Morgan. Mm-hmm. And so I was working in corporate America, and I knew that it really wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. Even in college, I think I want to own my own business, but I really don't know what I want to do to own my own business.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real frank with you. Number one, I didn't like people telling me how much money I could make. And then number two, it never really registered with me that I have to ask someone to take time off.
Yes.
And I'm like, I work hard for this time.
Yes.
I should be able to take off time whenever I want to.
This is my life. Yeah.
We here.
Yes.
I get you. I get you. So I'm in college, graduated in 2012, Morgan State, stand up. Graduated 2012. And then I immediately went to work for the government, which was great. I liked everything about where I worked, but I didn't like working for someone.
Right.
I know it's a really weird situation that you like everything about your job and the people, but you just don't like working for somebody.
I can totally relate. Yes.
Yeah.
I think most people can.
Right. So I went to work for Deloitte. So I bounced around. I have to only be in the workforce for, I guess, about 8 or 9 years now. I have quite a bit of experience, but so I bounced around trying to find something that I guess I could really relate to work-wise. And I started looking around. I'm like, I think I'm supposed to be an entrepreneur, but I just don't know what I need, what I want to do.
Right.
And so I'm like, I like houses. I like helping people. Yeah. So let me look at real estate if that's something that I would really kind of want to do. So
they go hand in hand.
Right. So I started just researching real estate, looking things up, and I got my real estate license. So I took the class, took the test, sold my first house, and I was hooked.
Really?
I'm like, this is it.
Really?
This is what I want to do. I love the people part. And I say this all the time, and I tell my team this too, like, we sell the dream, and not in like a cheesy or like manipulative way, but people dream about buying houses.
Yeah, they do.
And if I can be a part of that, it's nothing better than that to me. So that's kind of how I got. I know it's a kind of a roundabout way of how I got into real estate, but that's how I got in, and I loved it.
Yeah,
I think nothing else I want to do.
That's so awesome, because every person we interview, I'm very cognitive to know their story, because everyone's so passionate about what they do. And a lot of us young millennials are stuck in a job where we like what we do, we may like the paycheck, but we're not passionate. Right. But it's like important to know you're still young and you found your way to your passion, so that's a message. Okay, you might be in a job that you don't like, and this is completely unrelated to homeownership, but you can get to your passion, clearly.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that. So passion to me is more important than the money. So it's great now, and I say that even though I make more money than I did when I worked for the government. But I'm passionate about what I do, so I can work 60 or 70 hours a week in real estate, and it doesn't feel like work to me. It's something I'm passionate about, so it doesn't feel like work. Yes, I make money doing it, but it doesn't feel like work because it's something I'm passionate about.
But that's the beautiful thing when you can bridge the passion with the paycheck.
Yes, because passion do not pay the bill, trust me.
Not the mortgage, nothing.
I can't look at my son and say, you can't eat because daddy didn't sell no houses, so yes.
He gonna be like,
Exactly. So passion definitely has to pay the bills, but it's nice when both of them kind of marry.
Nice when both of them marry. Okay, cool. Okay, so one question that I want to tackle is what the purpose of a real estate agent is. Like, what is your main role? Because prior to buying a home, I thought real estate agents should show you cool homes and like they go about their day, but that's not the case.
Not at all. So that is one small part of what I do. And I say small part because I've had clients where literally I've shown them one house and they bought it. So it's such a small portion of what I do.
Right.
I literally walk my clients and I hold their hand throughout the whole process of purchasing a home or selling a home, either way. Or investing. I always like to say that too.
Yeah.
I have people come to me for all different reasons. So just showing homes is so small of the process. So I will, when I have a buyer come to me, so first time home buyer, the first thing that I do, we always either meet up for like coffee or we have a phone conversation and I go over the entire process with you from A to Z.
That's good.
I even introduce them to my lenders who I work with, the people that I have relationships with. I do show them houses too, but I write the contract for them. I work on things that come up in the inspection, getting it fixed. I help with the appraisal.
Yeah,
I do. It's a lot. I mean, people I think so often, we have, which is great. I mean, it helps get what we do out there, but you have shows like $1 Million Listing and House Hunters and things like that.
Right.
I tell people it is not like that. These people that, they do nothing and they have a $5 million budget. It's not true. It's not true. But, so people see on TV.
Yeah.
And also sometimes they look at other real estate agents that are really lazy.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
they see, number one, it may look like all we do is show houses, but then two, why do I even need one? You don't do anything.
Exactly. So that's my next question. I know a few people who are interested in buying homes have expressed like, I think I'm okay without a real estate agent. I found my homes on Zillow. I've saved them. Like, I'm good to go. So please tell the people out there why having a real estate agent is important, especially if you're a first-time home buyer.
Yeah, so good question. That's probably actually one of my favorite questions that I even answer that question when I have my consultation with them at first. And I ask them the question like, why do you need me? Why did you reach out to me?
Right.
Like, why do you need a real estate agent? We can oftentimes save you a lot of money and a lot of heartache.
Which is everything when you're buying a home.
Exactly. So there are times where, what if the seller overpriced the house and you end up paying more than you should? What if you don't know to get an inspection?
Yes.
And you walk in the house and one of your appliances is broken or something like that.
Yeah.
There are things, do you know how to write a contract?
No, sir.
Most people, the average person, as much as you think you may not need a real estate agent, you do not know how to write a contract.
Yes.
You don't know the steps of the process. So say, again, if you're buying a house without a realtor and you don't get an inspection, well, you can't come back to the seller and say, well, this is broken, you need to fix it. This is your house now.
Exactly.
You need to fix that.
You gotta cover it.
And I've had sellers, people that were like, well, I wish I would have used you and stuff like that. But they get in their house and they have problems. And I'm like, had you used me, I would have got it fixed for you.
Right, beforehand.
Granted, there are sometimes things that myself and an inspector just don't catch. I mean, we're not perfect. Sometimes we don't catch things. But 99% of the time, we will catch it and we'll get it fixed for you. And then there's just so many other things that we do. And then also too, part of my job I feel is like being a therapist. So I'll have my clients, if I were to show you some of my texts and some of my phone calls of them just calling me to vent.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my gosh, I hate this process. It sucks.
Imagine.
the lending process is terrible, and I have to calm them down and say, listen, I'm here with you. I get it. We all have been through this. It's okay. You will get your house, things like that. So,
and that you can't put a price on, because honestly, the reason why I wanted to start Miss Young Homeowner is because how stressed I was in my home buying process.
A lot of people are.
I could go to Google and ask basic questions, but I was getting sent paperwork. I had no idea, signing my life away. Yeah. It was stressful, and my real estate agent wasn't as empathetic. She didn't really walk me through the process. She kind of like dropped me off in the middle and was like, all right, bye.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of them do that.
Yeah. So I think it's very important to speak to like what you just said, the scope of what you do and how it is very much business, but you're there personally too for your clients, which is so important.
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I always say relationship first, business second. Yeah. So for me, I am here as a resource for you, but I can't tell you how many clients are now friends of mine after buying a house with me, because it's so much more than just a paycheck for me. Not to brag, but I'm good at sales. I can go sell anything. I don't need to sell houses just to make money. Yeah. It's more than that for me. It's literally helping people with the biggest financial decision that they'll make in their lifetime. So that is important to me. Absolutely. Yeah. Like we were talking about before, selling the dream. Like a lot of people come to me, don't even think they can buy houses. Yeah. And then when I show them that you can, it's definitely possible, then they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's why I do it. Yeah. Not the money. I can make money. Yeah, I can make money doing anything.
Yeah. Listen, not all superheroes wear capes, okay? Oh my gosh, don't do that.
I just enjoy what I do.
So our platform is all about talking to your everyday millennial, preferably young women. Okay.
I love that, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Great. What are some things that you can like teach those women out there who are aspiring to homeownership but don't know where to start, don't know how to contact or find a real estate agent? Like, what are just some general home buying advice you would give them?
Right.
It's very scary. Like, you don't know where to start sometimes. Yeah,
I get that. So first off, call me. That's the first thing you should do. I'm just joking. So with me, so one thing that's I think good about me is that I can empathize with you going through the process. I bought my first house at 23.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Young Homeowner.
So I bought my first house at 23.
Nice.
So I know what you're going through.
Nice.
So not only can I help you from a perspective of I do this every day, I'm very good at it, but I also know the feelings that you have, some of the anxiety, honestly fear, stuff that goes into it, sometimes buyer remorse. I get that. I understand it. So I would say when it comes to the first step, would be to find a good realtor. And I know I joked about call me, but there are a lot of good realtors out there. Seriously, there really are. And I would say talk to people that have bought homes. Did you like your realtor? Did he or she help you? Would you recommend them? That is how I get a lot of my business, is from referral.
Referrals,
honestly, I get a lot from referral, and I actually get a lot from social media too. I am, and I don't know if you ever seen any of the stuff I put up on Instagram, but I'm not salesy at all.
Yeah.
I don't.
Very chill.
Yeah, I don't do the sales stuff because nobody wants to be sold.
Right. So
somebody wants, and it's funny, one of my mentors told me this. When looking for a home, people want to feel like they're out shopping with their friend. Nobody wants to feel like they're being sold.
Yeah, I like that.
So that's why I always say, again, relationship first, business second. So you come to me, we're going to have a conversation of, okay, what are your goals? And then I really want to get to know you. For instance, so one of my clients, this was actually about a year and a half ago. It was early 2017. So because I really like to get to know my clients, things like that, every time I showed them houses, I realized that it was a single female and she used to bring a friend with her. And I always saw that she always had Starbucks with her every time without fail. And we were going on a Sunday to see houses. And she was like, I'm running behind. I'm on my way. And she didn't get to stop for Starbucks, but I stopped at Starbucks and got her a gift card for Starbucks, just out the blue. And she started crying.
That's
like
so touching.
that little stuff.
Yeah.
But that's big for me.
Yeah.
Because.
And it's just as big for her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for me, it's big because I want to know my clients. I want us to be friends after we finish. I mean, I get invited to housewarmings, Christmas parties, all that stuff, just because they can tell it's not just a transaction with them.
That's so big because I felt that it was a transaction with my real estate agent.
And a lot of people do feel that way.
Yeah.
A lot of real estate agents look at it, number one, as a hobby, and they don't look at it as a career. Like, this is my career. This is what I do.
Right.
If I don't sell houses, I don't make money. So I can't live without selling houses. So
find a good real estate agent.
That's the first step.
Okay.
That's the first step. So typically, if you find a good realtor, we can help you with all the rest of it. We can get you in contact with a lender. We can show you where, I mean, typically you tell us where you want to live, but we can show you where houses are. We can do all that stuff. We can hold your hand and walk you through the whole process. So I always say, like, that's the first step, in my opinion, is to find a good realtor. Other people may say differently, but if you have a good realtor, we should alleviate 99% of your problems. Like, I can't help, unfortunately, with the lending portion, because that's just out of my hands and I can't help with that.
Right.
But everything else, I can help you with throughout the process.
Okay. Well, we found a good real estate agent, so his bio and all that information will be in our comments, so make sure you check that out. So, one question I do want to ask, you bought your first home at 23.
Yes.
What in your brain at 23 made you want to be a homeowner? Like, you didn't want to find a cool apartment with your friends in the city? Like...
Yeah, so good question. So for me, I think it was all about my upbringing too. My parents had always owned a home. So, and talking to my dad, him and my mom had owned that house for, when I moved out, 13 years.
Wow.
And in Upper Marlboro, just in talking to him, he always kind of beat into my head, like, owning. We never even talked about renting. So that's all I really knew.
Gotcha.
So for me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I never ever thought about getting an apartment. It just never registered to me.
Wow.
And again, I think that's from my upbringing, but I think that it's so important, and I'm so glad that I did, because now I have equity in my home. So I'm not going to sell it. I'm buying my next home next year. I'm going to rent it out so it'll be producing income for me. But even if I wanted to sell it, I would still make a profit on it. So, but if you have an apartment, you can't do that.
Right.
So for me, it was, I mean, gosh, I started saving for my house. Most people don't do this, but like when I graduated college.
Really?
Actually in college. So every time I got paid, I would put money away.
Wow.
So I had like a really good savings account when I bought my house. So for me, it was, I never thought about renting.
Yeah, it wasn't even a thought.
Exactly. And it's okay. I think a lot of people are renting right now. I'm not bashing renting.
Right.
For some people, it's the right move.
Absolutely.
And I would never, even though I get paid to sell houses, I don't push people. I try to be no pressure. So I will never tell you have to buy a house, because for some people, you're just not in a situation where you can buy.
And it might not make sense for your situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Especially in the world we used to being in consulting. Sometimes buying a house is not the right way, because, you could be on a project here and then be in California in 6 months.
Or traveling back and forth every week and you're not even in your home. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So in that case, it would be good to rent. But I think that it's important to at least have that conversation. And then also, too, one other thing I wanted to touch, too, a lot of people come to me thinking that they can't buy, number one, because of credit score, which is something we can fix for you. And then number two, they don't think that they have enough saved up. And most of the time, you do. The only time that we typically can help, and I tell them, like, we put you on a plan to save up, if you have $0 saved. Like, I've had people like that where they have nothing saved.
Right. And we're like, I want to buy a home.
Exactly. And then we're like, okay, cool. We're going to have to put you on a plan. Because even if we get you in a no down payment loan and we get all your closing costs paid, you still got to pay for your appraisal.
Yes.
You got to have an earnest money deposit. You got to pay for your inspection. Like, there are things you have to pay for.
So many things.
Yeah. So you do need to have some kind of money saved up.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's not as much as you think. So don't be afraid to at least talk to somebody and see where you are because of a low credit score or not having a lot of money. Those are things that we can fix for you.
Yeah, and we definitely address credit a lot this season, so definitely stay tuned for the rest of our episodes.
That's important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah, it's big. All right, Chris. Well, this was such an honor being able to talk to you. Is there any lasting words or wisdom you'd like to impart upon us?
Words of wisdom. That's always an interesting question. So I always say, find your passion, like we talked about before. So find your passion and go at it with reckless abandon.
Yes.
So the way that I look at it, do you get a do-over in life?
No.
I don't either. So you only live once. So why go through life unhappy, not doing what you want to do in life? You only get one. You don't get a do-over. So go after it, whatever it is that you want. Don't allow people to tell you that it's stupid or whatever. My own parents told me I was crazy for quitting the government to do this full time.
Look at you now, about to buy a second home.
Look at me now. So don't let anybody crush your dreams. Whatever it is that you want to do, go after it. And use me as, it worked for me. It worked for me, and it will work for you if you put the work in.
Yes.
So those are my kind of last
Thank you so
impressions.
much.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thanks
y'all
for having
tuning
me.
in. Yes, thank you for being here. And like I said, we have way more coming up this season. If you could just let the people know where we can reach you at, your social media, all that good stuff.
Cool. So follow me on Instagram at Chris Perry Real Estate, ChrisPerry Real Estate. Definitely feel free to reach out. I run my own social media. Anybody that DMs me, I will answer you personally. I get questions all the time. No questions too big or too small. Definitely reach out, and I will respond to you.
All right. Until next time, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.